Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week: a homicide in Hope, and the victim was from Chilliwack. Not surprising, a Campfire ban is now in place. Signal lights for the Superstore, and the Abbotsford Canucks stealing a coach from Chilliwack. We'll have that in sports. Coming up our guest this week, is Steffi Munshaw from Secondary Characters and local musician Stan Giles. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. This is not really a surprise to anyone. Coastal Fire Centre issuing a total campfire ban. It starts Friday. It runs until Halloween. Now, if the weather changes for the better later in the summer, that could be amended. Last Friday night, Hope RCMP receiving a report of a deceased 46-year-old Chilliwack man in the 900 block of Old Hope Princeton Way. Now, IHIT is calling this a homicide, the initial evidence suggesting it was an isolated incident and no ongoing risk to the public. But IHIT is asking for possible dash cam footage. The man's name, by the way, will not be released at this time. Louis DeJagger is the former president of the Chilliwack Métis Association and currently Minister of Economic Development, Minister of Health, and Minister of Tourism at Métis Nation BC. DeJagger is now campaigning to be the vice president for Métis BC. Meanwhile, Peter Lang, currently the president of Chilliwack Métis, vying to become a Region 2 director on the provincial level. That includes Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. That vote is coming up on September the 7th. At the July 2nd meeting of Chilliwack City Council, a proposal that's been on the city's radar since 2019 was finally approved. A couple of tenders were received for the Luckakuk Way traffic signal and safety improvements. Well, the low bid was $1.3 million. What does this mean? It's Luckakuk in front of the Chilliwack Superstore. That's been a long-standing concern for drivers, especially trying to make a left-hand turn into and out of that parking lot. Right now, there's no timeline for the new traffic lights to be put into service. Last week, Agassiz RCMP were training on Harrison Lake, and they noticed a group of people on flotation devices. They've been pushed away from the shore by the wind. Exhausted from swimming, members utilized a throw line to tow that group to safety, and it's yet again another water safety reminder that a body of water like Harrison Lake can turn on you in an instant. Last Sunday, freelance broadcaster Bruce Claggett notified chillTV of a grass fire. This was under the BC Hydro transmission lines in Langley, and firefighters were quick to be on the scene. This is eerily similar to what happened under BC Hydro lines in Harrison on June the 24th. In that case, ironically, BC Hydro crews under the catchment of the power lines were doing maintenance and clearance when the fire started. Goose poop. It's a charming topic anytime, especially for areas like Sardis Park, Harrison's Lagoon, and Cultus Lake. Now, with Cultus, the Area H Director, Taryn Dixon, posting an update on what's being done for goose management. Now, Dixon says that a number of geese have been detected and hopefully scared off from nesting. And I'm quoting her, "There's still many geese at Cultus Lake, and at this time of the year, more come to simply molt, and they can't fly for about 6 weeks. So yeah, they can be messy and leave a great deal of deposits behind. That's about 2 pounds daily per adult goose." Secondary Character Director Steffi Munshaw is going to be here in a couple of minutes' time talking about the new production of Monty Python's Spamalot. It starts July the 19th, rolls to the 28th at the Chilliwack Cultural Centre. There are some tickets left for that show. We'll have that interview in just a couple of minutes' time. Classic Rock KISM 92.9 and the Stan Giles Band welcoming Nazareth to the Chilliwack Cultural Centre. That's August the 6th. Nazareth last played Chilliwack in 2013. That was one of the last gigs with lead singer Dan McCafferty. So Giles will be joining us in a couple of minutes' time. So first, the Chiefs' loss is the Canucks' gain. That'll be up in sports. And then our two interviews. That's in a few moments.
Oh, hi! What are the odds of running into you here at the Bookman? Chilliwack Pride's presenting sponsor in partnership with Willow Richelt. We're gonna have over 150 vendors, a kids area, food trucks, and even drag entertainers! We're gonna have the absolutely fabulous Aria ready, Justin a bit, Scarlet Rose, Jester Minute, and Jeriana! And it's going to be hosted by me! We'll be here July 21st on Wellington at 10 a.m. I can't wait to see you here on this fabulous day, rain or shine!
This week continues with Steffi Munshaw, who's director with Secondary Characters, and you've got a show coming up. And if you are a Monty Python fan, whose idea was it to do Spamalot?
It was actually my idea. I've been a huge Monty Python fan my whole life.
Me! I had to do it. Sorry, I had to go there.
Don't say the other word, though.
Knights who say... Okay. But Spamalot,
yes.
Your idea.
Yes, absolutely. My dad was a huge Monty Python fan. He grew up watching Flying Circus when it came out, and so he passed that love on to me and my brothers. So it's been a show that's always been on my bucket list to do.
Okay, on the bucket list, how long does it take to put on something like this? Obviously, you clear the rights with Eric Idle and the boys, and then you got to cast. How long was that process?
We usually start about a year in advance. So
Yeah.
as we are doing our summer production, we're talking about the show for the next year, and then in the fall we apply for the rights, and then auditions are usually take place around January, and we start rehearsing depending on the show and what the rehearsal needs are. March or April, around there.
I got to ask about the auditions. We joke about inside joke if you know Monty Python and the Knights Who Say Knee, and the Sparrow. We won't get to that. But do they have to do? In the audition process, do you have to do one of those?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, because normally for a musical theater audition, we ask people to prepare a song to come in and sing, and sometimes a monologue or some lines to read. But for this one, I wanted to see if people would be serious about their comedy, because one of the beautiful things about the Pythons is they're so serious about it, right? Ministry of Silly Walks, but deadpan face the whole time. So I actually asked everyone who was coming to auditions to prepare a hobby horse routine, but with no hobby horse. And to show off all of their horse riding skills and tricks, just to see who would actually do it. And I was expecting that a lot of people would show up and say you were joking, right? But almost every single person showed up with an entire routine, and they were doing jumps and tricks, and some people fell off their horses, and of course they're all imaginary.
Yeah,
They're sitting there with coconut shells.
I was going to ask, did anybody show up with coconut shells?
Absolutely.
Of course. When you're putting a show like this together, though, when the actual lead up and your dress and tech is still to come, but how long have been the rehearsals now? About 2 months, 6 weeks?
This has been a really condensed rehearsal period for this show. We started vocals and choreography in May, and then blocking rehearsals have just been for a few weeks in June, so it's quick and dirty.
For those who do know Monty Python, on a very serious note, Eric Idle is an amazing songwriter. Was it fairly easy for the cast to pick up on that? I mean, you can do the tongue-in-cheek, but there's a lot of nuances in his music.
Absolutely. The music's been so fun because he wrote the entire score in the book for the musical. And so there's a lot of classics in there, like Always Look on the Bright Side of Life and The Knights of the Round Table that we know from some of the films. But his other music is so catchy as well, and so much fun. And, it's really interesting when you read through the script, you can tell that it isn't just his name on there. He did actually write it, because he writes jokes in the stage directions too. He says, if you can't afford a really expensive forest, then, walk out with a really, really crummy tree, a fake tree, and plunk it on stage and make fun of the really expensive forest. And so there's lots of his own jokes in there. And he records himself doing the opening credits to the show, the welcome message, so that you can credit Eric Idle in your program as a cast member. So,
Love it. Correct me on this, but I think when it went to Broadway, wasn't Tim Curry?
Yes.
Yes. Did he win a Tony, or he was nominated for a Tony?
I don't remember.
I just remember seeing the Tonys, and there's Tim Curry trying very hard to be serious about it. And yes, the same Tim Curry as Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, so tickets are still available, or are we close to a sellout, or what's happening now?
Some of the shows are getting pretty full, so it's definitely, I suggest getting on purchasing new tickets. Yeah.
So this is what, July 19th to the 28th?
Yes.
Every night, or are you going to take a break, or?
There's a few nights off in the second week. We're usually dark from Monday to Wednesday, and then pick up again on Thursday, and 2 shows on the Saturdays, a matinee and then an evening performance.
So go to Secondary Characters social media for the ticket information?
Or the Chilliwack Cultural Centre website. You can call the Centre box office and find them there as well.
Fantastic. When you leave here, don't do a silly walk. Please. Steffi, again, a big thank you.
Absolutely.
And looking forward to this. It's Spamalot, and we'll see you there. Thank you, and you're watching This Week. This week continues with, you probably know this guy, Stan Giles, and you're involved in something that is absolutely cool, product placement. The Stan Giles Band is going to be opening for Nazareth, who are coming back to Chilliwack. They played here in 2013, so this is going to be a ton of fun. First off, a quick history of the Stan Giles Band. How long have you and the band been together?
This band?
This band?
About 3 years.
I thought you were going to say 30, but because you've been doing this for a while.
I have been, yeah, for a long, long time.
Yeah,
Since I was like a little kid. Yeah.
How did you hook up with Nazareth? How did this all come about? Because you're one of the co-presenters.
I am. How I ended up doing this, I ended up saying, well, if I'm not reaching out that way, I better bring them to me.
Okay.
So I figured out a way to do it. And I got a whole bunch of people together. And
you're not going to tell us the industry secrets of how you did that.
No, definitely not.
Again, a shout out to one of the co-presenters, which is our friends down in Bellingham, KISM 92.9. So to Scott Les and to Brad and John, how you doing? This is just unbelievable that we get to see you Tuesday, August the 6th, 7 o'clock at the Chilliwack Cultural Centre. Tickets are now available. Just going back to Stan Giles for a second, Cherokee Nation, that came out, what, a year ago? No.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
And you were getting great traction on
I'm getting way better now. Europe, United States, and Canada now.
Are you going to be able to pull a Nazareth and do a world tour, or is that still kind of...
I'm working on a tour right now, actually. Not with Nazareth, but if it could be with Nazareth, it would be good too also. But I have a country flavor and a rock flavor, right? So, and I'm it's like more of a southern rock type of thing, right? Country, and plus I do all the old country stuff, and all the new country stuff, and rock stuff, and you name it.
So this has got to be a trip for you to open for the ultimate classic rockers in Nazareth.
I never thought I'd be opening for them ever, but here it is.
Here it is.
Wow, yeah, as soon as he said it to me, Bernie said it to me, I'm like, are you sure?
Kind of hits home.
I don't think they want to open. I don't think they don't want me opening for them. And he says, oh, they will. Yeah, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
And so we gave it a shot, and then here we are. Yeah.
Even with all the years you've done, for lack of a better term, the bar scene. But you've done everything from the Anavets to festivals.
A lot of festivals. Yeah.
How are the nerves? Because this is this going to be the biggest gig you've ever done, or close to it? No. This
is I think the biggest one I've done with 3 million people.
How low?
Yeah. I don't want to say anything about that right now, but
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It was a record label and everything else, right?
Yeah. Okay. Stan Giles is going to open for Nazareth. Is that a kick? Tickets are available. We're going to see you in about a month's time.
That'll be great. It's going to be fantastic.
And a big thank you for coming by. A shout out to KISM and the crew there. And do we have any new music from you coming down the pipe?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of music coming down. I'm recording with Rob Beggs in his studio. And we're actually going to be doing really good that way. So there's a lot of good stuff coming down. And a lot more touring, a lot more big bands. I want to get a lot of more big bands here in Chilliwack. Yeah. So I want to do more here. So the most I can do here and like an Abbotsford type of thing back and forth here, right? And bring like Nazareth, bring a whole bunch of the bands here. Yeah.
Stan, again, a big thanks.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're watching This Week. chillTV Sports, Chilliwack Chiefs announcing their 23-24 associate head coach Andrew Shaw has accepted a position as video coach down the road with the Abbotsford Canucks of the American Hockey League. Now, over the last 5 seasons in the BC League, Andrews had a key role in implementing a new video and stat system. UFV Women's Volleyball hosting their indoor friendship tournament. That starts July the 28th. They'll have another one on August the 25th. This is for the R4's Friendship Tournament, where you and a partner of the opposite gender play with and against other pairs in 4 versus 4. So more information can be found at abbotsfordvolleyball.com. Now, with Chilliwack Minor Baseball, and for the second straight weekend, the under-8 Cougars have defeated Cloverdale in the finals to become champions. And with Chilliwack Minor Fast Pitch, the under-24s team won the provincial championship 12-1 win over Alberni, and yes, the mercy rule was used. On Canada Day, the usual festivities were moved from Townsend Park to Exhibition Field. That's because Townsend was getting brand new turf. It is ready to go for public use, as well as Chilliwack FC and the Giants football programs. Big thank you to Arnie Nichols for the photos. Coming up, Cari with the weather. chillTV weekend weather. So, Cari, any let up for this heat wave?
Yes, Don, the heat wave is here to stay for a bit. Summer has arrived with a vengeance. I'm not so great with heat, but these high 20s, mid 30s I can deal with. Nothing but sun in the forecast. Our saving grace, though, temperatures are going to get down below 20s for the evening, so our summer nights are going to be nice and cool. Fun fact, the largest pool floaty ever built was a 70-foot tall swan. I would love to be out on it on a lake someday soon. Back to you, Don.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.